Allow me to ask you something. What if one day could change the course of your life? I'm not talking about someday, next year, or when you're ready. I mean today, since the truth is that you can discipline yourself to change everything at any time. You can begin a new life on any day of your choosing. You do not need a new year. You do not need permission, and you certainly do not require flawless conditions. All you need is a decision to say, that's all, I have had enough. Today is the day I take control. And let me tell you something. Your life does not change with time. It changes through action. It changes when you eventually say, enough. Nothing changes unless you change. So the question is not, can you fix your life? The question is, will you? Because the moment you decide, actually decide, everything starts to change. Today may be that moment, that day, when you draw the line, clean your house, write a new tale, and become the person you were born to be. So if you're really ready to go, let's start this voyage. Let us fix your entire life in a single day, one thought at a time, make one decision at a time, take one step at a time. Let's start with the first step. If you actually want to restore your life and alter everything, you must draw the line right here, right now. Change begins with a decision. One day you finally say, I've had it. That's how it starts. Not with a fresh planner or a new year, not through motivational movies or self-help books. It begins with a subtle expression of contempt. Yes, disgust, the healthy type that says, I am better than this. Internal fury that says, I'm tired of being tired. I am tired of being broke. I'm bored of living in small spaces. That moment is sacred. Don't run from it. Do not numb it. That moment is a gift, since it is the day you choose to change. And that choice becomes the first dino. You don't fall into greatness. You decide on greatness. Disgust may be a powerful emotion. Disgust when you finally say, I've had enough. That is it. No more drawing the line that separates who you are now from who you will become. That line is invisible to the outside world, but visible to your soul. It's the line that states, no more snoozing your alarm. No more excuses. Stop wasting time on things that don't matter. When you draw that line, you start a new life. Not tomorrow, but today. And I assure you that the cosmos respects a made-up mind. Not a half-hearted wish or a weak resolution, but a definite affirmation. That is it. I am done. Your life changes when you change, not the economy, your boss, or your relationship. It is not the world that must alter. Your decisions need to alter. Because here's the truth. Your life does not improve by luck. It becomes better with change. And that change begins with a decision. So what are you willing to tolerate right now? Mediocrity and procrastination. Poor health, poor finances, negative thinking, whatever it is, identify it, name it, and say, this ends today. Draw a line. You must become so tired of your current situation that the agony of remaining the same outweighs the anguish of change. People only rise when they are truly fed up, because they will not rise unless they are. So here is your first task. Get silent, ponder, and be brutally honest. What aspect of your life requires the line? Perhaps it's your finances or your relationships. Perhaps it's your health or your thinking. Whatever it is, make a decision now. One clean cut, one bold line that reads, the old me is over. The previous excuse is no longer valid. Old habits are buried because changing the course of your life, even by 1 degree, leads to an entirely different place 5 years later. That's the power of one decision. That is the power of drawing a line. You can begin a new journey on any day of your choosing, nor next month, nor when things calm down today. Make this the day you change. Now that you've drawn the line and declared enough is enough, it's time to clean up. But we are not starting with your room or your timetable. I'm going to start with something considerably more crucial to help you decide. Your mind functions as a mental factory, producing whatever you feed it. So, the question is about cake. What have you fed it? Because whatever goes in, comes out. Fear creates hesitation. Doubt leads to procrastination. As you add negativity, you get paralysis. But if you believe, you will receive energy. If you put in optimism, action, and discipline, you will see progress. And here's the truth. The kind of individuals that avoid your life are a direct reflection of your attitude. Your thoughts shape your emotions. Your feelings shape your actions, which shape your life. So if you want to live a better life, you must first improve your mental health. That implies it's time to take a close, clean look at the door of your mind. Not just once a day, because your mind is always being attacked by bad news, negative individuals, weak thinking, and fear disguised as logic. If you do not take control, someone else will. So ask yourself, what thoughts are living rent-free in your mind? What voices have you allowed into that? Keep whispering. You cannot. It is too late. You aren't smart enough. You've failed too many times. That's bad thinking, and it has no place in your life anymore. Today is the day to clear everything out, sweep the corners, take inventory, and eliminate any harmful thoughts that do not serve your future. Because this is the fact. You cannot perform in a way that contradicts your self-image. If you believe you are weak, you will act like it. If you regard yourself as average, you will stay that way. However, if you begin to regard yourself as capable, valuable, and worthwhile, you will begin to behave differently. So, how can we clean our minds? Allow me to provide you a few important things. Turn off anything that isn't helping you improve. Some individuals require less information and more reflection. Turn off the distractions. Give your mind space to breathe. What are you now watching? What are you now reading? Who do you listen to? Garbage in, garbage out feeds your mind as if your life depends on it, which it does. Your history doesn't determine your future. Your shortcomings do not define you. Start speaking to yourself as if you deserve a breakthrough. Affirm who you are becoming. Affirm your goals. Affirm your worth. Because the mind frequently believes what the heart feels. And finally, you must use caution when allowing anyone access to your mental space. Some people are not evil, but they are not beneficial to you right now. You can love someone, but in order to grow, you must sometimes withdraw yourself. So today, clear your mind, scrub it down, and start over. Because no matter how noble your intentions are, if your mind is clogged, your development will halt. The best part is that you don't have to do it precisely, simply do it regularly. One clear thought, one inspiring concept, one optimistic belief at a time. Everything begins with thought, and what we believe shapes who we are. You can improve your life by first changing your thoughts. And we've started today. Now that you've drawn the line and started clearing out the clutter in your thoughts, it's time to move on to the next phase. It's time to construct the life you desire, because if you don't, we will. And let me tell you, the normal monk's plan isn't very big. You wake up, go to work, get home, eat, sleep, and repeat. You react to life. You survive it, but you never experience it. That is what occurs when you live by default rather than by choice. You can see the instant you stop wondering and begin deciding. If you do not create your own life plan, life will open up for you at that point. Chances are you will fall into someone else's scheme, and guess what they have in store for you? Not much. So ask yourself, what do you actually want? That's where it starts, not with how or when, but with what. What do you want your life to be like? How do you want it to feel like? Some people have gone 30 years without asking the question. They wake up each year, but never to themselves. You have to envision it. You have to picture it in your imagination before you can hold it in your hand. Imagine the life that ignites your soul, not the one you believe is feasible, but the one you know in your heart you were intended for. That's when life changes. When you start taking the pen away from the world and creating your own story, you can't be casual about your destiny. Casual leads to... You have to be intentional and deliberate. Clarity, my buddy, is one of life's greatest strengths. Most people don't lack talent, they lack clarity. They are attempting to hit a target that they have never defined. Don't start your day until you've finished it. Don't start the week unless you have a plan. Don't begin the year until it's planned out. You have to sit down in the stillness and ask yourself where you are heading. Who am I becoming, and what kind of life can I expect if I keep doing what I'm doing? That's the question, right there. Bay will shake you. It will awaken you. Because if the response scares you, that should serve as a wake-up call. You're not a tree. You're not stuck. You have the ability to alter course. You can completely redesign the blueprint. You can remark, this is not what I want. Then start creating the groundwork for a better future. One mental decision and one action at a time. A choice, not a wish or a hope, is the first step. I'm not going to live like this anymore. I shall become who I am supposed to be. I will create a life that I am proud to live. And here's what's stunning. Once you've designed your life, the habits will follow. When the vision is clear, discipline becomes easy. Once you know what you desire, distractions lose their effectiveness. You no longer seek pleasure. You pursue your mission, and when it leads you down the right path, life begins to reward you. Success is simply a set of easy disciplines that are done on a daily basis. So begin today, not next year, this month, or this instant, by deciding what you want your life to be and living as if it already is. That is how you fix your life. One simple, powerful, and purposeful design at a time. You've drawn the line, cleansed your thoughts, and created the life you desire. Now it's time to get to work, because here's the simple fact. Dreams do not function unless you do. Plans are only effective if they are carried out. Success is simply a set of easy disciplines that are done on a daily basis. If you want to improve your life, you must do more than just decide or fantasize. You must first plan and then execute the strategy. It's that simple, yet most people fail. They have a vision and a desire, but they never map out the way or map it out only to fail to follow through. This is why so many people feel stuck. They demand change, yet their deeds remain the same. Listen attentively now. Planning is simple. It does not necessitate advanced degrees or specific abilities. It takes honesty. It demands both discipline and devotion. Discipline is the link between goals and accomplishment. Without a plan, aspirations are merely wishes. Without work, plans are simply paper. So, how does it appear to plan the task and execute the plan? First, you must divide your goal into specific, doable tasks. If your aim is large, as it should be, you must break it down into smaller bits, like a mountain is climbed one step at a time. This step is critical, because if you don't break it down, the mountain appears too large, intimidating you, and you start making excuses. Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. So the real labor begins with the details. You decide on the following step, you make it straightforward, easy, and actionable. It could be as simple as making a phone call or as involved as developing a business strategy, but it must drive you forward. Then you write it down, because it's nothing more than a fantasy in your mind. When you put it on paper, it becomes a commitment, goals. There's no knowing what you can do when you're inspired by them. There's no telling what you can do when you believe in them. And there's no telling what will happen when you put them into action. The next section separates the successful from the others. You stick to the plan and complete the tasks even when you don't want to, even when distractions call and dread whispers. Not today. Discipline is the act of doing what is necessary, even if you don't want to do anything. Being excited makes it easier to stay motivated. But what about those challenging days when the outcomes are slow, when progress becomes undetectable? Your strategy serves as your anchor. You get back to it. Look at what you stated you'd do. You take the next step gently and steadily, day after day. And here's something that most folks miss. It's not the huge leaps that transform your life. It's the small, consistent activities, the daily decisions. Success isn't mystical or mysterious. Success is a natural result of continually applying simple fundamentals. If you want a better life, you must be there for yourself every day. You must honor your vows to yourself. There will be challenges, and you will want to give up at times. Days when old habits are louder than new ones. However, keep in mind that every step forward counts and every attempt is important. If you fall, get back up. If you fail, learn and adapt. Continue to move, because your greatest possibility for success and pleasure lies not in doing various things, but in doing them differently. Working the plan entails accepting the process. It entails committing to growth even when it is uncomfortable. It entails putting progress above perfection. And here is a secret. The job itself will instruct you. It will shape you and prepare you for the success that you desire. However, none of this occurs without planning. So, take a minute to reflect on your life, aspirations and plans. Do you understand the following step? Are you committed to performing the work? If not, now is the time to become serious. More waiting for the appropriate moment. Stop relying on motivation. Motivation is transient. Discipline is steadfast. Motivation is what gets you going. Habits are what keep you going. The idea is to develop habits around your plan. Make work a part of your regular routine. Guard your time as if your life depended on it, because it does. Remember, you're creating a new life. And every time you put into that plan is an investment in yourself. We must all endure one of two things: the anguish of discipline or sorrow. So select wisely, discipline now or regret later. One final thought: planning and carrying out the strategy is a marathon rather than a sprint. It requires a lifetime commitment, but the result is well worth it. A life you designed, a life you built, a life you adore. It all starts with one decision, one plan, and one day. Fix your entire life by creating and carrying out the plan. You've come a long way, and now you've drawn the line. You have cleansed your thoughts. You've planned your life. You planned and executed the work. But here's the most crucial fact of all. changing and mending your life. Everything comes down to one thing. You must choose who you will become. It's not only what you do, it is not only where you go. It is up to you to determine who you want to be. You are the mean of the 5 persons you spend the most time with. You are shaped by both your surroundings and your habits. Your decisions, however, form your identity, which in turn shapes everything. Think about it. Who you are today is the result of your decisions from yesterday. The books you read, the people you listen to, and the habits you develop. If you wish to start a new life, you must first change your identity. This is the power of decision. If you want to be a leader who draws quality individuals, start by becoming a quality person yourself. You do not achieve your goals overnight. You become whatever you constantly choose to be. It is a slow process, a planned process, a lifelong process. So, here is the question that will change everything. Who do you wish to be? Do you want to be someone who makes excuses or someone who makes progress? Do you want to be someone who settles or who strives? Do you want to be someone who watches life, dreams big, or takes charge? You see, the power is in your hands. You choose the type of person who will live your ideal life. You decide what values you will hold. You determine which habits to create. You chose which company to keep. Success is defined as performing regular tasks exceptionally effectively. To change your entire life in one day, you must decide to become a person who is committed to greatness, who never gives up, and who keeps moving forward no matter what. This decision will be challenged. Challenges will occur. Doubts will whisper. Remember, the person you choose to be is stronger than those problems, fear, and failure. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Your past mistakes do not define who you are. You are characterized by your next decision. And making the decision to improve, grow, and continue is the single most powerful thing you can do every day. You can reconsider your decision to recommend to the person you're growing into. Life will ask you often, who are you? What do you do? And what will you become? And the answer is yours. Discipline is the foundation for all achievement. Failure is almost always the result of a lack of discipline. So choose discipline, progress, and greatness. Decide who you want to be, and everything else will fall into place, because the quality of your life will always mirror the quality of the person you become. And that, my friend, is how you improve your entire life. Make one decision at a time. Remember, change does not happen by happenstance. It's a choice. Decide now who you want to be. Take the steps, complete the tasks, and observe your life. Transforming your best life begins now.